the CBR650R and CBR600RR. Both are CBR sport bikes from Honda, powered by an inline-4 with 600cc-ish displacement. Why does Honda make a similar bike with just a 50cc difference? In today's video, we will take a closer look at the differences between these bikes, which hopefully will help you choose the one that best suits your needs. The CBR600RR, with the extra R in the back, is a pure supersport that was built with racetrack performance in mind. It produces 121 horsepower on the crank, significantly higher than the 650R, by 26 ponies. Torque-wise, both bikes churn out an almost similar amount of torque, with the 600RR being higher by just 1 Nm. One of the reasons why the 600RR's engine is able to produce so much more horsepower is because of its rev limit. The 600RR has a higher revving engine, with peak power achieved at 14,000 RPM, while the 650R's peak power is only at 12,000 RPM. To achieve a higher number of revolutions, the 600RRs have different profiles with lighter and stronger materials for the camshaft, different valve springs and crankshaft materials, different intake and exhaust systems, etc. Shortly, the 600RR and 650R were aimed at different things, therefore, they don't share the same engine design and materials used. The 600RR is capable of reaching a maximum top speed of 255 km/h, while the 650R is just slightly behind with a top speed of 240 km/h. With a higher revving engine whose true potential can only be unleashed on the racetrack, the 600RR is a less capable commuter if compared to the 650R. The 650R compensates for its lack of horsepower, with stronger low-down torque that pulls harder from a standstill and at lower rev range. Strong low-end grunt means that cruising and overtaking in city traffic is much more fun and easier. On top of that, the 650R has linear and smooth power delivery, which is more friendly to beginner riders. The 650R is made for those who want a taste of supersports performance, but also want the comfort of a tourer, and are willing to make a trade-off between supersports power output and performance, for more comfort and road use capability. While both have an inline-4 flat-plane engine layout, the 650R has a 50cc larger displacement than the RR. Both bikes share the same bore size and over-square layout, with the extra 50cc that 650s have, coming from their longer stroke, which promotes stronger torque but lower RPM. Both the 600RR and 650R have a double overhead cam setup with 4 valves per cylinder for their valve trains. The 600RR performance-oriented engine has a 12.2:1 compression ratio, higher than the 650R, which adds to its higher horsepower output. Both bikes have a liquid-cooled engine and a 6-speed wet multiplate clutch, complete with assist and a slipper for the transmission. Weight-wise, the 600RR is 14 kg lighter than the 650, which comes from the design and materials used in the 600RR chassis and engine. With less weight and a higher power output, the 600RR power-to-weight ratio is significantly higher than the 650R, by 37%. The 650, which is equipped with budget-friendly parts and materials, is much more affordable, with prices starting at $8,999 for the ABS version. While the latest generation 600RR, which unfortunately is not sold in Europe and North America, due to its not passing the Euro 5 regulation, is priced at 1.6 million yen in Japan, or $15,000 if converted to US dollars. With a price difference of nearly $6,000, the 600RR comes with more advanced features. Honda implemented a 5-axis IMU for the 600RR that allows for more sophisticated cornering ABS actuation. There is also a ride-by-wire system on the 600RR, with 5 riding modes selection. Both have traction control system, with the 650R's TC being more basic, with no adjustability, and can only be turned on and off. While the 600RR, which comes with an IMU sensor, has 9 levels of traction control, 3 levels of wheelie control, and also 3 levels of engine brake control. Quickshifter is an optional feature for both bikes, and the 600RR is equipped with an electronic steering damper, or what Honda called HESD, which monitors speed, and adjusts the steering damping speed, accordingly. It enhances stability at high speed, by reducing sudden steering angle changes, while also leaving the steering light, at low speed. There is also a TFT display on the 600RR dash, that has street and circuit modes, while the 650R still has an LCD for the display. The 650R has a budget-friendly twin-spar frame that is made of steel, whereas the race-oriented 600RR's frame is overall very different despite having a twin-spar design. Honda made the 600RR's engine and frame with weight, size, and stability as priorities, resulting in more rigid, narrow, lighter, and compact die-cast aluminum frames. The rake of the 600RR is set at 24.1 degrees with a trail of 99 mm, which makes it more sporty and agile than the 650R, which has a 25.5 degrees rake, with a trail of 101 mm. Next, the 650R is equipped with a budget, 41 mm upside-down fork, Showa SFFBP or separate function fork, big piston, with one fork doing the springing stuff and the other doing the damping stuff, which turns out to be a robust, simple, and cheaper fork. Unfortunately, Honda does not give it any adjustable capabilities, obviously for budget reasons. On the other hand, the higher-priced 600RR gets a 41 mm upside-down, Showa big piston fork with preload, rebound, and compression setting capability. Both have a Showa link-assisted monoshock, with the 600RR's being more superior because of its fully adjustable feature, whereas the 650RR's shock can only be dialed for preload. Both bikes are fitted with cast aluminum wheels, and for front stopping power, they have two 4-piston radial mount calipers, with the 600RR calipers gripping slightly larger diameter discs than the 650. The 600RR is not only lighter, but it is also more compact in size, with a 75 mm shorter wheelbase, and a 65 mm narrower overall width. Honda also focuses a lot of their attention on the aerodynamic department, claiming that the 600RR has the lowest drag coefficient in the supersport class. For the tires, they have the same tire profile, 120, 70, and 17 inches for the front, and 180, 55, and 17 inches for the rear tires. The 650R seat height is slightly more accessible, with a 10 mm lower height than the RR. In terms of ergonomics, the race-oriented 600RR clearly has a much more aggressive, sporty riding position, with a low and narrow clip-on bars that have farther reach, and also foot pegs with a higher position. On the other hand, the 650R, which is classified as a sport tourer, has a more upright and comfortable riding position. It still feels a bit sportier than the Ninja 650 though, but it's still far less committed than supersports like the 600RR, R6, or Ninja 636.